Introducing today's event. In order for today to be most effective for us all here, we would love to have your active participation throughout today's discussions. This assembly can only be as effective and engaging as we choose to make it. I feel as though it's common sense, but I feel the need to reiterate during Women's History Month that women's issues are everybody's issues. And if any segment of humanity is oppressed, then it is our duty to learn about these struggles, even if it seems incomprehensible to us, because we have to build solidarity amongst each other. In the words of Dr. King, until everybody is free, nobody is free. To understand the importance of an event like a People's Assembly, we must know that they have historically arisen during times of crisis, when colonial administrators refuse to acknowledge or address the problems people face on the ground. When this happens, we turn to each other as neighbors, as friends, as family, in order to understand that even if things look bleak and filled with nihilism and have pessimistic attitudes, that we have each other's back, that we are not in this alone, and that everybody, or that people every day are resisting any and every form of oppression in order to build a better future. To know that we are going to be more than just all right. This is a meeting of minds to forge a collective imagination that allows us to better situate ourselves in the current moment we are living in. Through geographic determination, colonial histories, and economic policy, which are all the results of purposeful policy decisions, we have been placed at the bottom of a societal superstructure. This means that our economic and political needs and aspirations are more often than not disregarded in favor of trickle-down crumbs from a state apparatus. The People's Assembly is an attempt to change this dynamic, to reorient our community in relation to power, to grow horizontal democratic procedures in order to empower our relatives and our neighbors to know their rights not simply as citizens of nation states, but as human beings who are worthy of living in dignity and away from oppression. That when all we see is death around us, we choose life, we choose a future. Even if the future seems unimaginable, we walk in faith, and when we walk, we do as the Negro National Anthem says, and we lift every voice and sing. Because no individual will come to save us from our problems, but we can change our conditions when we are determined to do so. And I know a lot of people here in this room who I am extremely grateful for and who give me faith to keep pursuing the objective of liberation. Because I choose to believe in a future that is just, that is free of exploitation, that is free of sexism, that is free of racism, that is free of colorism. I refuse to accept nihilistic self-destruction. To reiterate why I feel that a People's Assembly is an important step towards our collective liberation is that as someone studying sociology at the State University of New York in New Paltz, and as someone who has worked extensively in the political apparatus, both in the Bronx and Fairfield County, Connecticut, what I have witnessed is truly a tale between two cities in the way governance works in our areas. Not to make a character assessment of political leaders or law enforcement, but as a sociologist, we are taught to be critical of institutions and how they operate and seek to preserve and perpetuate themselves. All this to say, in my analysis, especially here in the Bronx, I find it greatly exploitative and oppressive that our political institutions weigh more control over civil society than civil society over our political institutions. This dynamic is the reason we're here, because political institutions do not determine our futures, we determine our futures. And I don't find this to be a radical or outrageous statement. We are here to learn from each other, and inform each other about what is actually going on within our community and our world at large. To build solidarity amongst each other, because even though times are tough, as people, we have fought too hard for too long to ever feel defeated. This assembly is yours. First, we will have 4 local organizers from the New York, New Jersey area who will give brief presentations / engage in dialogue about issues such as militarization, education, organization, and healthcare. After this, we will be honoring 6 local women who deserve recognition for their everyday fight to take care of the health and well-being of our people, to let them know that their labor does not go unnoticed, and we are extremely grateful for what they do. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but this is the Bridgefield's first time having an assembly-style event. So bear with us and please participate and give warm welcomes to everyone that presents. We are here to build a community that relies and depends on each other. And what is most important is at the end of today's event, if we found this to be informative and enjoyed this type of setup and believe it would be advantageous to engage in this style of democracy, at the end we will have a simple yes or no vote if this is something we would like to do again. If yes, then in 2 months we will have another one. And if no, then no. But I would like to leave off with a quote from a Palestinian freedom fighter named Layla Khalid in order to honor Women's History Month, where she states, "To see women anywhere struggling for a just cause gives me hope and courage for my people. Women give life for the struggle in Palestine and everywhere else." Thank you, and on that note, I would like to introduce the first speaker, Dennis Hill from Black Lives for Peace.